Welcome to the Positive Pants Podcast. Mindset, motivation, and inspiration to help you find your positive pants. Let go of negative thinking and stop living for the weekend. With your host, Fran Excel.
So welcome to the show. As always, it's Fran Excel Mindset Coach, helping you find your very own pair of positive pants so you can get out of your own way and live a life that you love. Thank you so much for joining me. I'm very grateful you've chosen to put me in your earbuds today. Please do hit the subscribe button so you don't miss anything, and do leave me a review. I love reading them, and it really helps me get found by other people who need to hear what I share. I'd also love you to email me your mindset and productivity questions or topics you'd love me to cover to hello@franexcel.com, because I know a lot of you think I'm inside your heads because you tell me all the time. But if I don't know what you need, I can't give it to you. So let me know. So, live from Wembley, in my hotel room, why perspective is the key to success. Okay. So much in life and in your business is all down to perspective. It really is a key skill that if you learn it can propel you to success in business and in life. According to the Oxford Dictionary, perspective is a particular attitude or way of regarding something, a point of view. And it is also a true understanding of the relative importance of things, a sense of proportion. So essentially, it's a way of thinking. One is where you look at things based on your own experiences, values, personality, beliefs. And the other is when you put things into perspective by creating a comparison to make sure that you are looking at things from all angles to create an accurate opinion. Both are hugely important when it comes to the way you look at and the way you think about life and your business. It comes under the umbrella of emotional intelligence, which is essentially being able to control and understand your own emotions, which is a lot of what I teach. So your thoughts, as we now know, hopefully know by now, literally shape your reality through creating your feelings and your unconscious beliefs, and in turn, influencing your actions. So you can see that perspective is a pretty key skill to master in this game, and one that you can learn, and one that I learned. Based purely on perspective, big things, like really big things, can seem small, and tiny things can seem enormous. So you can see how this can have an effect on the way we're feeling day to day. So perhaps you think your latest launch has been a flop, or perhaps you feel like you're not moving fast enough, or you're not making any money or enough money. All those lovely little OMG, what am I going to do? The world is ending dramatic moments that come as part of the territory. Whatever it may be, basically, perspective is a highly valuable life skill to master in good times and not so good times. It's certainly something that I use on the daily and keeps me on track massively. And when you can master it, it can change so much for you. So the times when you're in the weeds, struggling, so many clients use the phrase wading through treacle. Yeah. The times where you feel like you're the only one dealing with what you're dealing with. The times when you feel like a complete failure. It helps you take a step back, take out the emotion, and see something for what it actually is. Perspective cuts out the lies and stories that you tell yourself and highlights things that are more truthful and helpful for you and helps you move forward, which is why it's one of the keys to success. It really does help drive you forward rather than keeping you stuck. It helps you to see those opportunities that can so often be right in front of you and you just don't see them. And without perspective, it's really, really easy to fall into victim mode, and nothing ever good happened from there. No, my friend. It really helps you to open your thinking and feeds a growth mindset, which is also something that's hugely important for us at running our own businesses or doing whatever you're doing, really. So it helps drive you forwards instead of staying stuck. If you've been following me for a while, you know that I live my life believing that something good can always come out of something that at the time feels or seems bad. That is a very empowering way to live life and run a business. The belief that everything happens for a reason. There's always someone worse off than me, or has dealt with worse and come through the other side. Or even just seeing people celebrate the little wins that I might not have even acknowledged, for myself. Very, very handy if you're feeling like nothing's going right. Right? It allows me to be more objective and not get caught up in the negative loops and spirals, and take a step back and find another way to do things. And there is always another way to do things. It really helps us remember that the way we see things is not always the way other people see things, and vice versa, which helps us seek out another perspective. And again, helps us to move forwards. Are you seeing a pattern here? Perspective helps you realize what is actually important and what's not. So often I see people tie themselves up in knots over things that actually really don't matter in the grand scheme of things. But when it's you in that moment, it can feel huge. And being able to have perspective reminds you of that. Yeah. It's like I often say, you can't control your first thought, but you can control your second. And perspective really helps you do that. It's a big, big, big piece of the entrepreneurial puzzle, in my opinion. It also helps you become more resilient. It's a huge part of that, and helps you move on more quickly with your positive pants firmly intact. So if you're not used to looking for it, how do you gain it? The big question. So create the awareness first, then challenge the thinking, and it will soon become a habit and your natural way of thinking. It'll go into that all-important unconscious programming that you need that's running the show. So here are a few questions that you can ask yourself once you've caught yourself in one of those negative loops, or why me, this is a disaster spirals. So first one, what am I telling myself this means about my business, about me, and is it true? Yeah. What's really the worst case scenario here? Is it that bad? What can I do about it? What good could potentially come from this? In the grand scheme of things, this is always one of my favorites. In the grand scheme of things, will this matter in a month? Will it matter in a week? Will it matter in a day? Will it matter in an hour? So often we get into these loops, and within about 10 minutes, we're like, oh, actually, it's not so bad. After this huge, huge, huge reaction. Yeah? What could be another way of looking at this? Okay? What is one more thing I could do to change or improve this situation? I hope you're taking notes. If my best friend was in this situation right now, what would I say to them? And then finally, if you were simply a casual observer watching this situation unfold, just having a nice, people watching moment, what would you actually see? Yeah? When we can remind ourselves that many people are worse off than us as well, it can really give us that much needed perspective to not get caught up in our own BS, which is essentially what the majority of us tend to do. Yeah? It really is such a valuable skill to have, and one that you can absolutely learn, because I did. Yeah, I help my clients find it. I help them change the way they think. So they always choose to look for it. And that's the key point. Choosing to look for this stuff is a key part of it. And if you want to change something or change the way you think about or react to something, then this will help hugely. It can be really hard to do on your own at first, but just keep catching yourself in those little moments where you sense a spiral coming or you feel something negative has happened, and just take a minute to really put it into perspective. Yeah. Look for the lessons and opportunities and see how much more empowered and relaxed you feel. Yeah. So If you got value from this and you know in your gut that now is the time to step up and start rewiring your thinking and changing things for yourself, then book in a free discovery call so we can work out what needs to happen to get you from where you're at right now to the action-taking success you know you can be. And if you want my eyes and ears on your problems, I work with people one-on-one and through my Proactive Pants Mastermind. So stop waiting for if and when and decide to change things now, because you can. And as always, I hope that was helpful. So any questions, just let me know. And as always, I will see you next week. Bye.